dependence, but all are related to us. We have very strong attachment towards them. When separation takes place, we cannot tolerate. Then we worry, we cry, we lament, and we create a lot of disturbances in our mind, and physically also become very weak. In the end, we don't gain anything, nothing. Just wasted our time. To avoid this unpleasant situation, we have to learn these things earlier. Train our mind. These things are natural occurrences. Nobody here in this world is free from these incidents or occurrences. So when such things take place, we must know how to face them without disturbing others, without disturbing our own mind, without wasting our life or time. So when you recite, if you don't like to recite in Pali, you can recite English, then you can understand what you recite. All our valuable things, beloved ones, relatives and friends, definitely one day we have to depart, we have to separate. No one can stop it. It is natural. There is another beautiful saying in Sanskrit language, the same idea. That is also for us to understand the real nature of our life, what will happen to us in the end, and what will happen to our properties, our relatives and friends. When separation takes place, we cannot carry anything with us. Even our physical body also we cannot carry. There are only two things that follow us. What are those two things? Sukritam, Duskritam. That is in Sanskrit. Sukritam and Duskritam. Sukritam means done well. Duskritam means done badly. That means good and bad deeds. In Pali we say good karma and bad karma. In English we say good deeds and bad deeds. It's not meritorious and demeritorious. We can carry only these two things. No need to carry. Follow us like our shadow. Artha grihe nivrittante. Everything, whatever we have accumulated during our lifetime, grihe nivrittante, remain at home. Cannot carry with us. Smasane mitra bandhava. Mitra and bandhava, friends and relatives. Smasane, cemetery, grave, or nowadays crematorium. They follow us up to grave, or cemetery, or crematorium. And nobody wants to go with us. They come back. So that departed person had to go alone. Two persons cannot go together. Even husband and wife also cannot go together after death. Two different directions. depend on their own karma. I told you, affection, love, attachment support us to be together, to meet again. But if they have done different kind of karma, good karma and bad karma, what will happen? One become a human being, another one become an animal. But attachment is still there. One become a deva, the other one become a human. But attachment is there. But if your good karma support you equally, then both can become human. If not, both can become devas. If not, if bad karmas they have committed equally, both can become animals. This is the nature of karma. So, smasane mitra bandhava, all our relatives and friends and beloved ones come back after burial or cremation. So when they go there, they cry. When they come home, they laugh. This is natural. Sukritang duskritang chaiva. Whatever we have done as good things and bad things, gacchanta manugacchati, follow us, just like our shadow. Wherever we go, our shadow also follows us. Never stop. So good karma and bad karma that we have committed, whether we have a religion or not, makes no difference. This is common, natural. Not necessary to believe, irrespective of religion. Or those who have no religion also. There are good and bad people in this world. All are equal in that respect. They have their own beliefs. Beliefs are not important here, because these are natural occurrences. Not belong to any particular religion. Just because the Buddha has explained all these occurrences, we introduce this as Buddhism. But it is not Buddhism. If Jesus introduced this thing, we say this is Christianity. If Rama or Krishna introduced this thing, we say this is Hinduism. But all these are natural occurrences. That is why we separate according to our belief. Because good things and bad things, good deeds and bad deeds, good thoughts and bad thoughts are common, irrespective of their religions or those who have no religions. And we have seen there are many who have no religion, sometimes better than those who claim religions. Their behavior, their character, their way of life, their good principles, better than those who claim religion. That means they have humane qualities, human values. Next one. Number 2. Sabbang adaya gantabbang sabbang nikkipagaminang yanca karoti kayena vacaya udacetasa sabbang adaya gantabbang sabbang nikkipagaminang yanca karoti kayena vacaya udacetasa. All these have to be left behind. when going beyond. But whatever one does through deeds, words or thoughts, continue. It's so simple. So whatever we have accumulated, we have to be left behind when going beyond. What do you mean beyond? When going beyond. Beyond means invisible. We cannot see where he or she is. Death. After death, we cannot see. Gone beyond. But we don't carry anything. But the same thing here. Whatever one does through deeds, words and thought, there are three channels. Word, action and thoughts create good karma, create bad karma. Thoughts alone can create bad karma without doing anything or without uttering even one word. Without doing anything, simply by talking, we create good karma and bad karma. Without talking, but by thinking, we can create good karma and bad karma by doing something, by using our physical body. So three ways. So can you remember what are the things that we commit by using our mind, by using our words, by using our physical body? Can you remember, by using our physical body, how many bad karmas do we commit? Because those things we cannot do by using words, must use physical body. How many? I think I have to repeat again and again, otherwise your recording is very poor, you know. Don't know whether your recording head is worn out or... Three. There are three. By using our physical body, we commit three kinds of bad karmas. Panaghātaṃ, paradabbaṃ, paradāraṃ. These three things. Killing other living beings. By talking or thinking, we cannot do that. Must use our body, either hand or leg or body. Then stealing. We cannot steal by talking, but must use our physical body. Then sexual misconduct, also physical body. These are the three bad karmas that we commit by using our physical body. Then musa, pesunya, parusa, samphappala. Four things by using our words or mouth. That means the mouth is stronger than the body, especially ladies. Man cannot argue with a lady. Man always surrenders. That is why he used hand, you know. If he used hand, means he is defeated. Man is defeated. He cannot argue. So, what are those four things? Musa, not musang. Musa means musawada, telling lies. Telling lies by mouth, tongue. Then three more. Harsh word, wicked, cruel, which hurt others' feeling. Then carrying tale, create dispute, enmity, anger by telling others what so and so said, by adding more salt and more spices. People are very, very keen to do that. I don't know why. They travel far distance to go and tell, so and so said like this. Then make them enemies. They enjoy it. But they do not know that they commit a very bad karma by doing that. Then, that is why that Indian philosophy, again and again and again, I am repeating and repeating and repeating, but if I ask, you keep quiet. Satyam bruyat priyam bruyat, na bruyam satyam apriyam, also in Sanskrit. Tell the truth, nothing but truth. If your truth is unpleasant, if your truth creates troubles and problems, better not to tell. It's a beautiful saying in Hindu religion. You can argue, I tell the truth. Yes, but your truth created a lot of trouble. You must know whether it is advisable for you to tell this or not. Whether advisable to reveal this. If it is unpleasant, if that can create a lot of troubles and problems, better to keep quiet. Then, gossiping. People like to gossip, waste their valuable human life, talking all sort of rubbish, no meaning at all. Hear the Buddha's advice. If you want to talk something meaningful, beneficial to you and to others. If you haven't got such ideas, better to observe silence. You can avoid so many disturbances if you observe silence, if you haven't got anything valuable thing to talk. Again, in another discourse, the Buddha says like this. Many people appreciate observance of silence as a religious principle. Again the Buddha says, only fools observe silence. If there are some valuable thing to talk, you must talk. Don't observe silence at that time. He is a practical teacher. Therefore, observance of silence is not a religious principle, but that can avoid certain occasion, but not always. Avoid lot of problems and troubles and misunderstanding. But by talking, you can enlighten others. You can clarify so many things. You can educate others. You can explain certain things which others cannot understand. Therefore, talking is very important. But talk something which are meaningful, useful. So these are the four things that we commit by using our mouth, our tongue, telling lies and using harsh and wicked words and carrying tale and talking rubbish. Four things. Today you didn't bring a glass of water? Because I always get the dry lips. I think in my last birth I might have scolded people, Always get dry. So, human beings are very clever, living beings, very intelligent. They are the only one who know how to tell lies. Others do not know. Animals do not know how to tell lies. And spirit and ghost and devils also, although they are wicked and bad, they never tell lies. They are very honest. Devas and Brahmas are very honest. They never tell lies. Only human beings. Do you know the reason why human beings tell lies? What is the reason? Human intelligence is more advanced than all the other living beings. And that intelligence we misuse because of our selfishness and cunningness. Others are not cunning. We are cunning because of our intelligence. We know how to bluff others. We cannot trust another human being. We can trust devil, but not human being. Any time human being can change the mind. Very unreliable. Human mind. Circumstances, provocation, irritation, temptation, change the mind. But others do not change the mind like that. They have their own character, nature, behavior. We have our own nature or character. Always we are going on changing according to the circumstances. In other words, we are opportunists. There is another saying of the Buddha in Anguttara Nikaya. You know, there is a belief that we do not know how many thousands or how many millions of years ago they believe that here there was an animal, not only one, half human and half animal. In Sanskrit they say Nrasingha. In Pali they say Narasingha. In Hinduism it is mentioned Krishna, no, Vishnu, their God. Vishnu take reincarnation from time to time. Once he has taken this form, half human and half animal. That is Hindu mythology. But they believe this very strongly. This is actually evolution. Scientifically we can analyze. This is evolution. The life which was originated in the water, how the evolution has taken place up to this level today. So, in the Buddha's teaching also we can see this word Narasingha. Not the same word Nrasingha, Kinnara, Pali word. The Buddha says, Dveme bhikkhave atthavase sampassamana kim purisa manusang vachang nabhasanti. These half humans and half animals, living beings, can speak human language because they have human head, human mouth, human brain. But by considering if they are going to talk human language, they have to tell lies. They had to use harsh words, scold others. Because of that, they did not use the human language. That clearly shows. So humans are the only living beings who tell lies. Very difficult to control our mouth. We create more bad things, more disturbances by using our mouth. That is why Mahatma Gandhi every Friday observes silence for 24 hours. Not even one word the whole day. If anybody comes for something, he writes down and show. That's all. Throughout his life, he observed this as his principle. Every Friday. No talk. There are some others. Just like some people abstain from eating meat, either on Friday or full moon days or new moon days. There are certain principles for them to cultivate, to uphold their good qualities. So we also must have some sort of principle. Otherwise, there is no human dignity, human values. Just behave like animals, eat and sleep and experience sex. That's all. Then what is the difference between animals and humans? How can we prove that we are more advanced, we are more cultured, we are more civilized, or we have religions? Again, how can we prove we are more advanced just because we have religion? Because we use religion also to disturb others, to discriminate others, to hurt others. Then what is the use of that religion? If people have no chance to live peacefully because of religion. Bertrand Russell, very highly intellectual, liberal-minded, free-thinker, agnostic actually, he says, religions have done more harm than good to mankind. Religion teach people to harbor jealousy and grudge and ill will towards others. Religion teach people to discriminate others. Those who have no religions are free from all these problems. What he says is right. When you study history, of religious history, for a few hundred or few thousand years history, what religious people have done. But nothing wrong with religion, my dear friend. We cannot blame religion. When that religion is handled by this crooked-minded human being, they misuse and abuse for their personal benefit and power and authority. That is how they spoil the name of religion all over the world. We glorify about our religion, but inside there is nothing. So, mind alone, without saying anything, without doing anything, can commit how many kind of bad karma? How many? 3. This time, okay, you get mark. 3. Abhijja, Vyapada, Micchaditti. 3 bad karma. What is the difference between abhijja and avidya? You have learned these 2 words. Abhijja and avidya. Is there any difference? cannot remember. Abhijja is called poisonous craving. Abhijja. Avidya means ignorance. Entirely two different things. Here we are talking about abhijja, not ordinary craving. Poisonous craving. What is poisonous craving? If children think in this way, how nice if our father and mother die earlier so we can enjoy all their property. That is called poisonous craving. It's very wicked. You know, they think how to see the end of their life, to enjoy their property. They crave so much. That is called abhijja. By thinking in this way, we create bad karma. It's very poisonous kind of craving. Next one, vyapada. What is vyapada? Yes, ill will. The correct English word is ill will. We have few words: anger, hatred, ill will, or grudge. Similar word. Ill will means the anger that we keep in our mind to take revenge and waiting to see the downfall of our enemies. That is ill will. When they are in trouble, we laugh. Oh, very good, very good, very good. That is called ill will. But anger is emotional. Anger suddenly flare up like fire and it immediately goes down. But some people keep this anger in the mind. That is the dangerous. As long as we keep this anger in our mind, there is no purity in that mind. Pollute the purity of our mind. Then thinking and thinking all evil thought against your enemy, you create bad karma for nothing. Again, remember this. If we die with that anger in our mind, although we have done some good karmas, it is difficult for us to have a better rebirth because of that anger, that pollution, mental pollution. By keeping this anger, although we perform some meritorious deeds, by using that polluted mind, this is a very important point. So whenever we are going to do some meritorious deeds, we must have three qualities. If one of them is missing, we cannot experience the full result, effect of that good karma. What are those three things? Somanassa sahagata, jnana sampayutta, asankharika. Now this is in Abhidhamma. This is a mental attitude. These three qualities must be there in our mind when we do some meritorious deed. Somanassa sahagata. We must have some sort of happiness, purity, faith, confidence. If you do that without these good qualities, it's not so easy for us to experience the good result. Remember that. Second one, Jnana Sampayutta. Jnana means knowledge, understanding. You must know what you are doing, why you want to do this, what is the significance of this act, these deeds. Just blindly or as your tradition, if not somebody else asks you to do that, or if not you do this as your duty. Whatever you do as your duty, you cannot experience the good result from the religious point of view. Because you say you had to do this, or you have to do this, reluctantly, willingly or unwillingly, but not wholeheartedly. No inspiration, no faith, no devotion, no confidence, but you had to do that. Let us take your father and mother. They are very old, bedridden. You have to attend to them. Then you say what to do, we have to do that. You reduce the real value of your service. You must never say like this. It is your bounden duty. You are responsible. When you do, without thinking what to do, we have to do this, you won't gain the good result. A king who used to attend to his own mother without allowing servant to come and attend to him. He said, I want to attend to him. Bathing, cleaning, the feeding, everything done by him. Very old. When the mother died, the king started to cry. When all the others came and consoled him, after all, she is very old. Death is natural. And why do you want to cry? Then the king said, I do not cry just because she passed away. I cry because I lost many things after her death. Every day I gain happiness by serving my mother. From today onward, I cannot gain that happiness. Look at the way of thinking. He never thought this is a duty. Wholeheartedly attended to mother. He can employ hundreds of servants as a king. No, I want to do by my hand. This is called understanding. So whenever you do some religious service, there must be happiness, there must be faith and confidence and understanding. Why? What is the significance? Why should we do that? Then, craving, hatred, ignorance. At that time, mind must be free from these three evil roots. If craving is there, we do that reluctantly, due to certain circumstances. We had to do it. If hatred or anger is there, mind is polluted, we do that with sour face. No cheerfulness, no happiness. If ignorance is there, and we do not know what we are doing actually, just as our tradition or customs or way of life, we do certain things. Third one, asankharika. The idea of doing this thing is implanted or created by your mind. This idea is not given by another person. If it is your own idea, then you experience full result. Because to do this, you have to overcome so many obstructions, mental hindrances. In spite of all these mental hindrances, you have created this idea in your mind, you want to do this. That is why it is difficult. But another person come and ask you to join. Tomorrow we are going to give dana. Do you like to contribute something? Oh yes. I also give $5. But it is not your own idea. Somebody else come and ask you, no doubt you get the result, but not fully. The idea must be your own. These are the three qualities. Somanasa, the happiness, purity, and confidence in the mind. Jnana sampayutta, understanding by analyzing, realizing what you are doing. Asankarika, your own idea that you want to do this. Now let us come to the other side of the thing. Now you want to do a bad thing. This is for good thing. There is no happiness in your mind. You are very angry and you want to do that. Again, your understanding about the outcome of this result, the repercussions or the consequences, impure and without proper understanding, more ignorance, then more bad effect. Sometimes we do bad things reluctantly. We don't like to do such things. But under certain circumstances, we had to do that. In the society, when we work with others, or we had to follow others' way of life. But we know they are wrong. Reluctantly we do these things. The bad effect is not that grave, not bad, because we knew that it is wrong. Then you can ask like this: if we know that it is wrong, then why do we want to do this? Just now I told you, mind can be influenced very easily to do either good things or bad things, more bad things than good things. Therefore we cannot escape. Now we justify, always we justify killing mosquitoes and ants. You say they are harmful, they are dangerous, they create sicknesses and they disturb us, suck our blood, create all sorts of sicknesses, therefore we kill them. All these are your excuses for your protection. But the nature never forgive you. You did not cooperate with the nature. You destroy them for your own benefit, for your own protection. You can justify, but the nature never forgive you. Therefore you have to face the consequence. Good effect or the bad effect come to us according to natural law. These living beings come into existence in this world for some purpose we do not know. Otherwise they never appear. They contribute something to this world, although they are dangerous to us. In that case, human beings are more dangerous than any other living beings on this earth. More cruel, more wicked, more dangerous. Today one human being can destroy the whole world. Now we can understand our accusers are not very justifiable. For our own benefit we always give accusers. Therefore, destroying life is not the only solution. There must be so many other ways and means for us to avoid the destruction. I didn't explain fully all the bad karmas that we commit by using our mind. First thing, poisonous craving. Second one, ill will. Alright, last one, Miccha Ditti. Miccha means wrong. Ditti means view or belief or idea or concept. Wrong belief, wrong ideas, wrong concept can create a lot of bad karma. In the Buddhist text there are 10 kinds of wrong ideas. Natti dinnang, natti yittang, natti sutang, natti sukata dukkatang, kammanang palang vipako, natti ayang loko, natti paraloko, natti mata, natti pita, natti loke samana brahmana samaggata patipanna, natti loke satta opapasika. 10. Understood, isn't it? No? These are the 10 kind of wrong belief. There are 3 ways of giving or offering. Natti dinna. There are some people who come and argue, why should we give to others? Why can't they also go out and work and earn their living? Therefore we don't want to give anything to anybody. That belief. We should not give anything to anybody. There are some people. It is a wrong belief. Another method, by approaching. Now you visit old folks' home, orphanages, hospitals, sick people, and do some offering. You approach them and do some offering. Again they say, why should we go there and waste our time and give all sorts of things? Forget about them. Do our work. It is a wrong belief. If not, we invite them to our place. We invite people, poor people, beggars, religious people, monks, and do some offering, food or medicines or clothing, whatever we have. Then some people say, why should we invite them? Why should we feed them? Forget about them. It is a wrong belief. Natti sukata dukkatang kammanang phalang vipako. There is no such thing that bad action create bad effect, good action create good result. It's only belief. Therefore we can do whatever we like, according to our taste, our satisfaction. There is nothing to justify. So good and bad deeds always exist in this world. Why should we keep away from bad deeds if they are important to us? Why should we do so-called good deeds if they are nuisance to us? Forget about these things. Do whatever we like. That belief also wrong from the religious point of view. Natti ayang loko, natti paraloko. This is controversial. This is the only life. We never existed earlier or before that. Again, Natti Paraloko, there is nothing hereafter. After our death there is nothing. No rebirth, no heaven, no hell, nothing. This is the only life. Many of those agnostics and skeptics, scientists, free thinkers maintain this belief. They say this is the only life, not created by anybody, not planned by another person. Accidentally this life come into existence due to combinations of elements and energies and this and that, exists for a certain period, again disintegrate, finish. Why worry about that? Make use of the life without wasting. Don't believe what those religious people talk about heaven and hell. They have created this heaven and hell for their own benefit. These are the arguments. So, what do you think? Are you going to contribute this belief? Natti Mata, Natti Pita. I think you know the meaning of these two words. What is Mata and what is Pita? Mother and father. In Pali, Sanskrit and Oriental language, mother must come first, not the father. Father number two. Mother. Why should we respect, why should we support father and mother? We are not responsible to look after them. Leave them alone. They have not created us purposely. Accidentally we came to this world through them. So why should we support them? Disbelief. From our religious point of view, is entirely wrong. Every religion, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam also very strongly support. They must support father and mother. But those who have no such religious background argue, why should we support them? So in the West, what they do, send them to old folks home. They don't know to keep them at home. Their argument is, this young couple cannot bring up their children according to their way of life. If you allow this old couple to stay with them, they train these children to lead their way of life, out of date. This is generation gap. It is happening in many families. Young father and young mother want their children to follow their way of life. Grandmother and grandfather want to train these children to follow their way of life. This friction. To avoid this, what they do, send them to old folk home. I have seen on television programs in England, argument, both sides, give their own reason to enlighten others. Whatever it may be, our family relationship, confidence, security, happiness, we maintain for thousands of years by living together. Parents and grandparents. So they love each other, they support each other, look after each other. To us it is important. Therefore we are bound to do our duties, responsibilities. If we do with confidence, then we make some good karma also. not only duties or responsibilities. Natti mata, natti pita. Natti loke samana brahmana samaggata patipanna. There are no such people in this world who are called religious people, like monks or priests or Brahmins or sages and rishis. Why should we respect them? Why should we worship them? Why should we feed them? They also must go out and work for their living. We are not responsible to feed them. They are also human beings. This is another argument. Again, when you study responsibilities toward their religious people and religious people's priests or monks' duties towards the followers, there are many. Religious people always guide, advise, protect, bless. When they come to know they are wrong, advise them and give confidence, console them. These things are very important for you. Again, religious people who have given up their personal belonging depend on you. By providing their requisite, you gain some merit with confidence. You support them to maintain, to carry on their noble or religious way of life, to continue their services to others. This is the reciprocal services. One group support the other group. If we are separated, there will be there's a very big gap in between your way of life and our way of life. Last one is very difficult to understand. I also cannot understand. Natti satta opapadika. There are 4 modes of birth. Egg born, womb born, moisture born, and a spontaneous born. 4. Now birds, reptiles lay egg. After that, young ones come out after a few weeks. That is their way of life. Womb born, humans and animals. Few months in the womb, and after that the baby come out. That is their way of life. Moisture born. When you dump rubbish for a certain period of few months, after that born, you can see all sort of funny creatures there. All they come into existence due to combinations of this moisture inside. Another kind of living. The other one is called opapadika, a spontaneous. A spontaneous means without giving birth by a female or mother. They appear. So our knowledge is not advanced yet to understand how they appear. That is the difficulty. But we should not reject just because we cannot understand. There are many things we cannot understand. Now, a spirit, ghost, or devils, no mother. They just appear without giving birth. Devas and Brahmas in celestial kingdom. There are males and females, but females never give birth. Then who give birth? Males. Who give birth there? Nobody. See how lucky those mothers are. Later they adapt as their children, but never give birth. That is their way of life. They exist as they appear. No old age. This is the nature of that life. That is why many people are crazy to go to heaven. But they cannot remain forever like that. Then suddenly disappear. Maybe hundreds or thousands of years they can exist. When they disappear, no corpse or no dead body. Just like flame of a candle. When flame disappears, we cannot find out what happened to the flame. Their life is exactly like this. And if we say, or we don't believe that, here you say it is a wrong belief. If we say we don't believe it, therefore we must say it is difficult to believe. Then we are safe. Whether right or wrong we do not know, but very difficult for us to believe, difficult for us to understand. But there will be a day that we will be able to understand. These are the bad karmas that we create simply by thinking. Because these things pave the way for us to create lot of bad things. It is not simply by thinking that we create bad karma. These ideas pave the way for us to do a lot of bad things. That's why here it is said, through deeds, words and thoughts. Number 3, tanhi tassa sakang hoti tanca adaya gacchati tancassa anugang hoti chayava anapayini tanhi tassa sakang hoti tanca adaya gacchati tancassa anugang hoti chayava anapayini. That alone belongs to him. That alone he takes with him. And that alone follows him like his shadow. Very easy. That alone, what is that? That alone belongs to him. You can claim this is the only my property. Rest are not belong to you because you cannot carry with you. Whatever you can take with you is belong to you. And this body that we like so much, we claim this is my body. Even this is not my body because I cannot carry it. Not only I cannot carry it, I don't like to suffer, I don't like sicknesses, I don't like old age. Then why all these disturbances come to me if it is my body? That means it's not mine. I claim this is mine, that's all. Then that alone follow us. Others or our properties also never follow us, never carry with us. Like shadow, same thing. When you study the different ways of interpretation by different religions, actually they try to convey the same idea, but in different ways. Some others say, if you do all these good things, God will reward you. If you do all these bad things, God will punish you. Same idea. That they bring the concept of God into this. And some others say, it is not done by a God. This is the nature of the action and reaction. Whether there is God or not, we have to face the consequences of our action and deeds. And we also experience the good result for our good deeds. Same idea. Number 4. Sabbe satta marisanti. Sabbe satta marisanti. Maranang tang hi jitang. Yatha kammang gamissanti. Punya papa phalupaga. Nirayang papa kammanta. Punya kamma ca sugatin. Sabbe satta marisanti. Maranang tanhi jivitang. Yatha kammang gamissanti. Punya papa phalupaga. Nirayang papa kammanta. Punya kamma ca sugatin. All living beings die. Life ends in death. Here is not the absolute truth. Life ends in death. Death is not the end of life. That is here physical body. Beings fare according to their deeds, reaping the harvest of their deeds, meritorious or otherwise. Those who commit the meritorious deeds go to woeful states, and those who do meritorious deeds attain blissful states. Very simple sayings. Always we talk about these things. And we have to talk about this. Life ends in death. There's a Buddhist hymn also here. Life never dies. I can see our youth always sing this song, Buddhist hymn. Life never dies. Life cannot die. Because there is nothing to die in life. Life is an energy. Here life means we refer to our physical body. Die means separate, dissolve or disintegrate, absorb into the element again. But the mental energy related to our life process continue. That is why we say life never dies. But this continuity also remain as long as we maintain three kinds of craving. If craving is there, life process, mental energy proceed, take existence again. If we don't like, because the more we exist, the more we have to suffer. Birth creates suffering, old age creates suffering, sicknesses create suffering, death creates suffering, and worries and miseries and disturbances create suffering. Nothing but suffering. So one day we realize, still too early for us to realize, because craving is very deeply rooted, very grave. Not so easy to reduce this craving. Then life process continue, energy continue. So life never dies. If you want to stop this suffering, this unsatisfactoriness in everything, then reduce one by one, step by step, life after life. Go on reducing and reducing and reducing. Then you can see the end of your journey. Final goal. Again, different religions explain in different ways. Christians say heaven, final goal. Muslims say paradise, same thing. Hindus say Brahma Lok, Brahma world, also kind of heaven. Buddhist says we don't want to stop there in heaven, we want to go beyond that. That is Nirvana. That is the difference. But all can go together, hand holding their hand in hand. Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, all can go together up to heaven. After going there, Christians say, this is our heaven, this is our paradise, this is our eternal goal, we stay here. Muslims also stay there, paradise. They satisfy. Hindus say, no, we cannot satisfy. We want to go beyond this, Brahma world. They plan to go to Brahma world, and the Buddhists also follow. So Hindus and Buddhists go to Brahma world. Then Hindus say, this is our final goal, this is our, purpose of our life, so we stay back. The Buddhists say, no, we don't want. This is not the final, we want to go further. That is Nirvana, one step beyond. These are the differences. But all can work together, live together, until we reach heaven. But after going there, we never fight. As human beings, we fight. Jealousy, anger, all these things as human beings. But after going there, no more fighting. So, next one. These are very simple, anyone can understand. Number 5. Nirayang papa kammanta punya kamma cha suggati. Niraya for bad karmas, suggating for good karmas. What is niraya? Naraka. In English we say hell. Again we differ. Buddhism stand alone. All the other religions except hell is under this earth or located somewhere under the great ocean or under this earth. The Buddha says no. Hell is not under this earth or under the great ocean, not located in any particular area, any particular world. Hells exist everywhere where there are suffering. From birth up to last breath, nothing but suffering. That is hell. This is the way how the Buddha accepted. Whether humans or animals or any other living beings, they are in hell. So, bad karma create this awful state. Let us take those who are dying, starving, millions in certain countries. We cannot believe that God created them to suffer like this. For what purpose? millions to die like that. If God can create, it is His duty to provide food also. It is not that God created them, their own karma. That is what this says. Nirayang papa kammanta. All those who have committed bad karmas will be born in certain areas, certain countries where there are more suffering. That is hell. Mangala Sutta. Patirupadesa vasocha pubbecha kata punyata. Those who are born in certain countries where they can lead peaceful life, very fortunate. Let us compare this country with all the other places where human beings are killing each other and fighting and running away as refugees and dying. How fortunate we are. Again earthquake, volcanic eruptions. Pubbecha kata punyata. Again those who have done enough good merits during their previous birth. Rebirth takes place in certain areas, certain countries where they can lead a peaceful life. These are the things we have to. Whether we have a religion or not, these things are natural occurrences. The next one, last one. Tasma kariya kalyanam niccayang samparayikang punyani paralokasmin patittha honti paninanti. Tasma kareya kalyanam niccayang samparayikang punyani paralokasmin patittha honti paninam. Therefore, let one always do good deeds for life's future store elsewhere. Meritorious deeds sustain life's own future. Tasma kareya kalyana. So, whenever there is opportunity, don't forget to do some good deeds. What is good deeds? Do some service to others. Relieve others' suffering. Give them support. That is called good deeds. Then, prepare for the next life. Human beings can do that, others cannot. Others do not know what to do with their life. The animals, they do not know what to do with their life. They become victims to others, other living beings. They cannot prepare for the next life. Since we have thinking mind, we know what to do, how to make use of this life, not to suffer again, to have a better life, to continue until we attain our final goal. Punyani paralokasmi. Paraloka means next life. Only punya, merits, patittha honti, support. Only our own good karma support us in the next life. Nobody else can support. That is why we have to prepare for that. Preparing means doing some service to others while we are living here. It is very meaningful. All our titles, properties, names, popularity, fames, publicity, everything drop here. But punya, meritorious deeds, support us there, not to suffer again provide all our requisite. We receive what we want without struggling for that. Not necessary for us to strive for our survival there. This is the advantage of meritorious deeds, by doing some service to others. Jivitang Anetang, next Friday. Two one one. Imina punya kammena upajjaya gunuttara acari upakaraca mata pita piya mamang Suryo Candi Maharaja Gunavanta Narapice Brahma Maharaja Indace Lokapalaca Devata Yamo Mitta Manusace Majjata Verika Pice Sabbe Satta Sukhirantu Punyani Pakatani Me Sukhanca Dividang Dentu Khippang Papetharo Matang Imina Punya Kammena Ibina uddisena ce Khippahang sulabhe ceva Tanhupadana cetanang Ye santane hina dhamma Yava nibbanato mamang Nassantu sabbada eva Yattha jato bhave bhave Uju citto sattipanyo Sallekho viriyavabina Mara labhantu lokadam Katunca viriyesu me Buddhadi pavaro nato Dhammo nato aruttamo Nato pacceka sambuddho Sangho nato taro mamang Tesottamanubhavena Maroka sang labhantu ma